73 years to the day of the Doolittle Raiders mission in Tokyo, the two remaining living members handing over their award for future generations to enjoy. Christian Hauser was at the special ceremony at the Air Force Museum and has more on their amazing legacy. Thanks, Christian. Well, two Kentucky men under arrest tonight accused of fatally shooting an Ohio native near the University of Kentucky campus. Justin Smith, pictured here, and Efrain Diaz are now facing multiple charges. They're accused of gunning down 23-year-old Jonathan Kruger while trying to rob him. His high school coach in Perrysburg near Toledo reacting to the news today. Police are investigating if more people were involved in the shooting. The suspects are due in court later this week. The latest information now on a Columbus man facing terrorism charges.
His intent for the United States was to kill Americans.
Abdurrahman Sheikh Mohammed pleading not guilty to accusations he trained with terrorists in Syria and was given orders to come back and kill Americans. The Somali-born man's brother died in Syria while fighting for ISIS. A federal informant says Mohammed was happy about his brother's death and said he would be the next to die for the cause. Mohammed is due back in court later this month. Also in Columbus, a couple is facing human trafficking charges after police say they tried to lure women online. Police say 32-year-old Thomas Williamson and 29-year-old Michelle Feldman created a false identity online, and they began romantic relationships with 3 women to lure them into servitude or slavery and then sexually assaulted them. Prosecutors say it was done to satisfy the couple's sexual, financial, and emotional needs, and it took place from April 2013 until March. Both are charged with trafficking, extortion, sexual battery, and other charges. A hearing is set for Monday. Caught on camera, a new Richmond, Ohio officer attacked by a murder suspect. Officer Jesse Kidder's body camera was rolling when the homicide suspect he was following gets out of his car and charges. Kidder had been warned that the man was armed and may try to commit suicide by cop. Instead of using his gun, Kidder opened up a dialogue with the man. A few seconds later, backup arrives and the man surrenders. The chief praising Kidder tonight. Officer Kidder says one of his relatives gave him the body camera to use after what happened in Ferguson. Now the chief says he's hoping to find funding to get for the rest of his officers. Also caught on camera, a litter of puppies strapped to the roof of a minivan in Akron. Police received dozens of 911 calls and eventually got the driver to pull over. He says he was on his way to his wife's family some 300 miles away. The family claims they didn't know it was wrong, and since they surrendered the animals, they won't be charged. Police educated the family on the proper way to transport animals and drove the dogs to a nearby animal shelter. The puppies appear shaken, but otherwise okay. And back here at home, police are searching for a missing Harrison Township man. Officials say 58-year-old James Elliott walked away from Riverside Healthcare Center yesterday. He was wearing a Cincinnati Bengals hat, coat, and blue jeans. Authorities say Elliott has a history of mental illness and left the center without medication. If you see this man, call 911. Well, prom's tonight for many students in the Miami Valley, but AAA has a reminder for those ready to party hardy. If you're going to prom, AAA says recognize the risk factors that those in your car so that they don't create distractions for you. And if you're the one driving, be defensive when driving and look out for impaired drivers.
Other people.
And absolutely no drinking and driving. Not only is it illegal, but it can have deadly consequences. Well, you know the saying, it's a small world. And a Youngstown woman can testify to that. She found her biological mother at her job. Lasagna Mitchell Clark and her mom both work at the same company. Clark got her birth records from the state and looked up her mother on Facebook. And that's when she found out that they work at the same place, but different departments. Now, Clark reached out on social media and finally got that long-awaited call. Her mom also had another surprise for her. She called me. And get this, mom and daughter live just 6 minutes away from each other. An Oklahoma family saying goodbye after a man is gunned down by a sheriff's deputy.
They know what they did was wrong, but they wouldn't be trying to hide everything.
The admission the sheriff just made about the deputy involves qualifications next. Plus,
I mean, that was real life.
Coming up, see what the inside of a flight simulator looks like and how these students benefit from the training. Coming up. Friends and family gathering to say goodbye to Eric Harris, who was shot and killed by a Tulsa Reserve deputy. Deputies were trying to arrest Harris when Reserve Deputy Robert Bates grabbed his gun instead of his taser and shot Harris. Bates says it was an accident. Now his training is under intense scrutiny, with the sheriff admitting that some gun certification records are missing. Harris's son says he wants the sheriff's office held accountable for his father's death.
We'll get justice for him.
Charged with manslaughter. In your Vote 2016 coverage tonight, GOP presidential hopefuls are in New Hampshire getting out their messages. Speaker after speaker made their case in front of hundreds of Republican activists. Senator Rand Paul led the notables at the First in the Nation summit there. Now, he criticized both Republicans and Democrats, and he pulled no punches when discussing Democratic rival Hillary Clinton.
For her baggage.
Now, former Governor Mike Huckabee told the crowd the Republican Party needs to start acting like the grand old party. Senator Ted Cruz criticized the Obama administration's proposed nuclear deal with Iran. And students from around the world coming to the birthplace of aviation to learn how to fly. We give you a behind-the-scenes look at the simulators they used next. Plus, an annual mulch sale helping folks become homeowners. Why events like this are so important to Habitat for Humanity, coming up. Students from around the world cleared for takeoff today. They're putting their aircraft design skills to the test in a flight simulation lab at the University of Dayton. It's all part of the 5th annual IT Flies USA competition. The students' designs were tested on the only Merlin flight simulator in the U.S. by experimental test pilots.
So when they come to leave,
UD students have previously won the competition. And it was a beautiful day for Habitat for Humanity volunteers who were making a difference. The UD chapter of Habitat helped with the Posey Power Sale. The Neighbors Garden Club puts it on each year. Now, it's the second mulch sale of the year, and the money the students earn from working goes to the Dayton chapter of Habitat. The nonprofit helps people get on the right path toward buying a home. All families who participate also put in sweat equity, working on their own and others' homes. Now, fundraisers like this are extremely important, helping crews buy tools they need.
Entire year.
UD's Habitat for Humanity has been helping with this sale for 28 years. So definitely a great day to be outside, whether it was working for Habitat for Humanity, planting flowers, whatever. And I guess now it's going to give us a little rain, so that kind of goes with the planting because you need water, right?
Absolutely. Of course, we do get those spring showers, but tomorrow is going to be a bit of...
Thanks, Mike. Well, thrill seekers had a gorgeous day to spend at Kings Island. The park opened today for its 44th season. The park is debuting 2 new rides in Planet Snoopy's Kid area. They are Woodstock gliders and Snoopy's Space buggies. Plus, there's a ton of upgrades on International Street near the Eiffel Tower. The additions come a year after the park debuted its record-breaking Banshee roller coaster. There were more than 2 million rides its first year. And it was also opening day at Eldora Speedway in Darke County. Fans lined up to get tickets for today's race, kicking off the 62nd season there. A special banner now hangs proudly honoring founder Earl Baltus, who died earlier this year. A record crowd filled the Shoe in Columbus. Coming up next, the play that led to a war of words in Ohio State's spring game. You'll want to stick around for that. Plus, parrots rescued from a fire, how they alerted firefighters to the blaze, and how they're recovering tonight. Coming up. Well, you know, we love our football here in Ohio. Can you tell?
Jeez.
Almost 100,000 people.
600 or so other fans were doing that didn't get there to crack 100,000.
I know, that would have been great.
Yeah, maybe next year.
All right, thanks, Eric. Well, a couple of birds escaped a fiery death.
It's Smart Bird. Smart Bird.
What they did that ensured their survival and how they're recovering tonight. That's next. It's an unusual case of mistaken identity. Firefighters responding to a house fire in Boise, Idaho, think they hear people screaming inside. Crews were actually hearing these guys, parrots. Emergency crews say the birds had been trained to issue a warning. They were screaming for help, leading firefighters to believe there were people trapped inside the home.
That's what we got.
The birds were rescued quickly and given oxygen. They're expected to be okay. The cause still unknown tonight. So a gorgeous day today, but the rains are coming, huh?
It is coming. We actually do have a warm front coming for tomorrow, but it's not going to really warm us up just at all, but still just cooler than we have been.
All right. Thank you very much for that. We'll see you later over on ABC 22 in a few minutes.